what extent should threats of violence or threats to trade from anti-Semitic sources be taken into account? I ask in the context of even the announcement of the review and as the review progresses. How much should the government and will the government take account of those aspects?
Senator, I don't know if you're adverting to specific examples, but the review process will take account of international circumstances as they currently exist, views of our international partners and counterparts, allies. I've said that previously, and a range of issues, specifically in relation to the matters you raise. If they're part of that circumstance, then one imagines that they would be considered, but that is not a focus in any way, shape, or form.
The reason I'm mentioning it is because earlier this week, Mr. Duncan Lewis from ASIO referred to the fact that an alert, an advisory of whatever the term was from ASIO to agencies had been leaked, and it did refer to this matter. And it essentially suggested to agencies that perhaps some additional caution may be warranted in light of the announcement of the review. There has also been media discussion about Indonesia and its trade policy towards Australia since then. So my question is essentially, how much will factors such as that, and we wouldn't have known about the ASIO alert had it not been leaked, wasn't deliberately made public. To what extent should factors adverted to in the ASIO alert or matters in the media about Indonesia's trade policy influence Australia's position on this issue of the location of our embassy in Israel?
So Senator, I'll ask Secretary Adamson to talk about matters relating to the ASIO document in particular. But more broadly, let me say that reviews of this nature on the subjects which are under consideration will always be focused on Australia's national interests. And that is the priority and that is the focus which will be given to the review process. Australia's national interests cover a vast range of aspects of engagement and policy, and they will be part of the consideration.
So, do you wish to add anything, Secretary?
Well, Senator, I think the content of the bulletin is probably something that you've already spoken to Mr. Lewis about. We are happy to discuss it, but the Minister is absolutely right about the review process going forward.
So Australia's national interest might include an avoidance of, well, appeasing a threat of violence. For example, would indeed that be an influencing factor?
Senator, I mean, our approach is not typically, or indeed I would hope ever, an approach of appeasement.
No. I said, indicated quite clearly, Senator, that our approach is based on Australia's national interests.
So that can be interpreted, just one final aspect, Chair. That can be interpreted in many ways, Minister. Is it in Australia's interests to act on a point of principle in relation to such a matter as the location of an embassy, or is it in Australia's interest to avoid a violent reaction to a decision relating to the location of an embassy?
Well, I think, Senator, your proposition is rather beset by hypotheticals, to be honest. I will return to the point that I have made, which is that we will always act in Australia's national interest.
Well, I probably won't get any further here, Chair, so I'll leave it. Thank you.